Hi, I'm Marie and this is my blog watchmediy.com, and today we're in the kitchen. We're going to be making applesauce for baby. And when I first thought about making baby food, I thought, oh, that sounds really time consuming. You have to have special tools and accessories, and so I kind of put off the idea of doing it. But after I had my daughter, a friend of mine actually gave me a big bag of apples from her parents' house with some pears, and she showed me the food mill that she used to make baby food, told me how easy it was, and so I thought, hey, I'll give it a try. And it was great, especially when she was first starting to eat food, because she didn't eat very much at any given time, and it was a great way to introduce really basic flavors to her. And so I didn't buy, baby food for the first few months, and then as she progressed and I needed to introduce more types of food and proteins and things like that, I have more and more branched out and bought different types of baby food. But it's still a great staple to have, and especially something like applesauce is great to always have in the freezer. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So for making the apple baby food, we have two options of how we want to do it. It depends on what tools you have in your kitchen. I have this apple core and peeler that I use for baking apple pies. And so you can peel and core the apples and then use a blender to puree the baby food. Or if you have a food mill, you can just chop up the apples into small chunks and then throw the whole thing in there, and the food mill will actually do away with the seeds and the skin. So the food mill ran about $25 at my local kitchen supply store, and for apples, I found that it's one of the best tools. So we're going to use that today, and we're just going to real kind of crudely chop the apples into chunks, and we're going to throw these into our pot of boiling water until they're soft and mushy, and then we're going to run them through the food mill. Boiled the water, and then I just actually turned it down once I put the apple chunks in there, and you can see that I've left the core and the seeds because it's all going to come out when we put it through the food mill. And I'm going to leave them in there. I'm going to turn the water down a little bit to low, and then I'm going to leave them in there for about 30 minutes, and I'll check on them. Okay, so we're just going to take a couple of spoonfuls of the apples at a time and just put them into the food mill. And I just have a glass bowl underneath. It's not special or unique to the food mill, it's just what I have in the kitchen. And I'm just going to turn it like this. And as you can see, it takes all the skins and leaves them on top, and then down below is where you'll get the applesauce. We are starting to get some applesauce, so I'm going to keep doing this, and then I'll come back when we put them in the trays. Okay, so this is the bowl of applesauce we got from about 9 medium Gala apples, and I purchased the apples at Target. They came in a bag, and they weren't super cheap because it's kind of off-season, but they were decently priced, and they were organic apples. So now I'm going to put them into these ice cube trays that came with lids, and I got these for $4.99 a piece at the kitchen supply store. And 1 cube of applesauce is about an ounce. So when you're trying to figure out serving sizes, it's great because you can just do 1 cube at a time, and you'll know that that's about an ounce of food for baby. And these were especially great when she was first starting to eat baby food because she wasn't eating very much at any given time. And so if I was using, jars of baby food, it would have been a lot wasted. Whereas this way I could just pop out one, defrost it in the microwave on defrost, or you can even just put them in the fridge the night before and they'll defrost. And then that way you know that they'll be ready to go when it's time to feed baby. So that's what it looks like when it's in the tray. Put the lid on it, pop it in the freezer for a few hours, and then they'll be done. Okay, so to finish up our baby food, we're just going to go ahead and take the baby food out of the frozen tray, and I like to just put it onto the cookie sheet so then it don't go taking off everywhere. If they don't, you can always run it under hot water. And then I just mark on my bag what I made. So just applesauce and then the date that I made it, because they last, I think, about 3 months, the applesauce does. And they just throw it in the Ziploc bag and you're good to go. Thanks for watching. See you later.